And Randy really is the champion of this event, and so I'd like to give this to you because you are really the one that deserves it. Thank you. All right. Well, I am truly honored to be here today on the same stage that was just shared by four great leaders and my good friend and mentor and colleague for many years, Jerry Salantai. And it's the same stage that another friend and colleague, Ron Smith, will be using later today. And yes, I am very passionate about the value Geoprofessionals bring to our world. And I look forward to sharing some of that passion with you today. I got an infusion from Kevin Hoppy during the last meeting. So, we have three things in common. And we have a clear understanding that we're here for a common purpose. Let's get started. Okay, so today, in support of the purpose, I'm going to address just three simple topics. We're going to keep it simple this Saturday morning. First, I'm going to answer for everyone a question that's been asked by intellectuals and scholars worldwide for a millennia. Who are we? Second, we'll answer another very important question that's equally as substantial and has been debated similarly. Why is it important that we exist on Earth? And third, once we figured out who we are and why we're here, we need to figure out, as a group, how to tell everyone in this big, wonderful world why it's important that we exist. Well, it's pretty simple, huh? Geoprofessionals provide geotechnical, geologic, environmental, construction, materials, engineering, and testing, and related professional services. As we can see
really
from the video, ASFE took the first bold step to define the term geoprofessional and share it with the world wide web. We are geoprofessionals, and it's clearly defined on a format that has become one of the world's leading sources of knowledge and information through the definitions of words and concepts. Wikipedia. In fact, it's so easy, a kid can look it up. We, geoprofessionals, exist. So, now we know who we are, and now we know why we exist.
Taking off his jacket.
You know, I just heard Jim Johnson say, uh-oh.
Tony Roberts.
Our work is not done. Now the real work begins. It's good to have a common understanding of who we are, but why we exist, but we've accomplished nothing if we can't share this message with the world. So everyone remembers the story of Goldilocks and the three bears, right? So you've got this family of three bears, and they're having breakfast on a beautiful morning, and before they eat breakfast, they decide to go out for a walk in the woods. While they're gone, Goldilocks shows up. She rummages through their house, creates a disaster, eats their breakfast, sits on their chair, sleeps on their beds, and eventually she falls asleep. The bears come back from their walk, and they see evidence. Their house is trashed. They follow the trail of evidence, and I think you remember this act. Somebody's been sleeping in my bed. Somebody's been sleeping in my bed. Somebody's been sleeping in my bed, and they're still there. And up jumps Goldilocks, and away she goes, and out the door, and she's gone from the house. Now, I'm not telling you this story because it has anything to do with Geoprofessionals. But it does emphasize the power of stories. Everybody in this room knows that story, the story of Goldilocks and the three bears. And everybody could tell that story probably better than I did. And what's really cool is you could put your own spin on that story, but essentially it's the same story. That's the power of stories. And geoprofessionals need stories. Our stories come from our experiences. They come from other people's experiences. They come from case histories that are available at our fingertips. And in order for everyone to know who we are and what value we have to the world, we need a lot more volunteers. In fact, the job is too big for the people in this room. Unfortunately, telling the world the stories of geoprofessionals is too big for ASFE, the Geoprofessionals organization. That's the bad news. But there is good news. It reminds me of a story that I heard recently.
Oh boy, not another story.
So this Stone Age hunter
This is horrible.
was walking around and he saw some big paw prints in the ground. So he started following those paw prints through the tall grasses, and he came to a big opening. And in that big opening was the largest, meanest looking saber-toothed tiger, dead on the ground. And next to the saber-toothed tiger was this little caveman. And so our caveman asked, "Did you kill that saber-toothed tiger?" "Why, yes, I did." "Whoa! That's the biggest, baddest saber-toothed tiger I ever saw. How did you kill it?"
Don't knock the booth over.
"I killed it with my club." "Well, how big is your club?" "Oh, we have about 30 members now." We may not be hunting saber-toothed tiger, but telling the world about our value proposition is a huge task, and we need some help. There's a Latin proverb, and I don't speak Latin, so I'll just translate. Many hands render a big load perfectly light. Spreading the word about geoprofessionals and our value proposition is a big load indeed, and it will require many hands. So, there we have it. I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We know who we are, we know why we exist, and we're starting to find out how we can share our message with the world. I want to thank Randy again and his committee for their tireless efforts to drive ASFE's purpose. I also want to thank you all for sharing part of your morning with me, and in advance for sharing this information with the world. We are geoprofessionals. Thank you.